Hello YouTube, my name is Remy. If you've never seen my face before, I basically just talk about whatever's on my mind week after week. And then this week, I basically just went back to my old videos and kind of checked up on like the comments and stuff to see if I had answered everybody and everything. And I found this little cute comment right here. And I decided to talk about that this week, but expand it a little bit and just talk about our whole like love story and I don't know, kind of make it cute this week. So it's a very long story, so I made some notes for myself. So I might be looking over to the side because I didn't want to miss anything. Honestly, it's a cute love story, so I just wanted to make sure I had everything on there. So when I was in third grade, I was in a little school. Obviously it's third grade, but it was a school that was like from pre-K to like sixth grade. It wasn't like a K-12 school. And in third grade, I had some problems with like teachers and stuff. I didn't personally have I didn't have problems with teachers, but the teachers in the school weren't, well, one particular teacher wasn't good. And so my mom took me out of that school because she felt like I wasn't getting the education that I needed at that point. And she took me to this new Catholic private school. Now in this Catholic private school, my husband was studying. He had been there since kindergarten. So unfortunately, we did not meet in third grade. We didn't meet all the way until seventh grade. So we skipped primary school and we went to like halfway through middle school, but we finally met and we became basically instant friends, at least on his part, because I fell head over heels over him pretty much immediately. I had a huge crush on him and I didn't keep it a secret. I didn't like hide it from him or anything. He would do this thing where he would suspect that I still had a crush on him. So he would ask me, hey, do you like anybody? And I would just flat out say, yeah, I like you. But honestly, we had this like we had talked about it and I understood that he wasn't interested and I didn't want to push it at all. Like I valued our friendship over my like crush on him. Also, we were like 11 or 12. So I was like, I mean, it's just a crush, so it's fine. Like, I prefer we stay friends. So at that point, he would like ask me and I would tell him and I would be like, but you know, I understand that you don't like me the same way, so I am okay with just being friends. I don't know. I don't know where that maturity and the confidence came from because it's not in this girl anymore. Like it's, I want to be her again anyway. But yeah, we were comfortable just being friends. And then he started dating my best friend, which was honestly the best person he could have started dating to like help my emotions, I guess, because I love them both so much that I just wanted them to be happy. And I felt like a little bit towards it. Like I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, I completely forgot about him. Like no, obviously I still liked him and it didn't hurt, but you know, it kind of stinged a little. Honestly, I just wanted them to be happy. So I just kind of kept pushing my feelings aside and just kind of focused on me. And yeah, he just started like seeing people and whatever. And then let's skip around to 9th or 10th grade. I don't remember which one. I started dating my first boy. That one didn't last too much. We lasted about 3 months and then like we just didn't click. But after that one, I got my first real boyfriend around 10th grade and I fell head over heels over this guy and we were crazy about each other back then. And I didn't completely forget about like my feelings for my husband. His name's Jonelle. I'll say his name. I didn't like completely forget about Jonelle, but I was respecting his boundaries and he was respecting mine. So I just moved on because what else are you supposed to do? And I started dating this guy and I really liked him and we were always together because we were friends. And I mentioned on my first video, I don't know if you've watched my first video, but I am what's called a demisexual. So I only find attraction in people I know. So So I tended to have feelings for like my friends. So the first boy I dated was a friend, and this first boyfriend was a friend as well. He was my best friend back then. And so we started dating and we clicked, but Janelle didn't like this relationship because he didn't think that we were good for each other. And I mean, he turned out to be right. But at that time, I did as a normal teenager would do, and I was stubborn. I was like, no, this is my true love. Like, you're not gonna get in like in between us or whatever. And you know, it's teenage stuff, like it's stupid fights, but you know, it caused us to stop talking, and it basically ruptured our friendship to the point that we just stopped talking. We couldn't talk to each other without fighting, so our friendship was pretty much done at that point. Fast forward to senior year, and it was time for our senior trip. So our class was gonna go to Punta Cana to drink. They were heavy drinkers, but I didn't drink, and a bunch of our like friend group didn't really want to go just drink for a week. So we decided to do our own like separate senior trip to Disney World. Here it comes again. And it was basically with the help of Janelle's mom that we went, because she used to do yearly student trips to Disney. So she helped us make our own like little senior trip together, and it was 12 of us there. But that was like our first ever Disney trip together. We even got a picture together here, and it's really cute. Well, we have a bunch of pictures, but this is the one that we got like together. Like, because remember, by this point we weren't talking, we were not friends, we were resentful towards each other, and so it was a little tense. But we got that picture, and it was really cute, and we did have a good time mostly on the senior trip. Honestly, the only bad parts I had were with my then boyfriend. We were not in a good place at that point, so we were fighting, but it was really fun when we were all together. So, and it was like 12 of us. I'll see if I can find like a good picture of all 12 of us at Disney, which I know I have, like there's a bunch. So but yeah, like I said, we barely talked during the trip though. I had my boyfriend and he had his girlfriend, so we didn't really feel the need to talk. And like I said, we were angry at each other. So, but fast forward to my 20th birthday, I decided to kind of bury the hatchet and invite him to my birthday, which was also my like goodbye party, because at that point I had been accepted to the Disney College Program. There she is again. The Disney College Program was starting in February, I believe, of the next year, and I kind of wanted to have a party with like our Disney group to kind of like say goodbye, because I forgot to mention, after the senior trip every year we would do like a little party, like a little sleepover to, I don't know, kind of reconnect, because after high school you kind of lose touch with everybody. So we would have sleepovers and we would all stay with each other. We would stay together. And it was really fun, but like I said, we weren't talking. So all the sleepovers, we would focus on like our own things, and we'd be in the same place but not like talk too much. Sometimes we'd stay up really late and we'd be the only two awake, so we'd maybe like play a board game or something, but it was all like superficial and stuff. But by my 20th birthday, I invited him and he came. And I want to say this, and he will say that I'm lying, but I am not. I invited him every single year to my birthday, and he never went. He says I never invited him, but I did invite him. Maybe he ignored my text, but I invited him because I invited everyone in the same group, the same Disney group. But that's beside the point. But he went to this one, so that was really heartwarming for me that he decided to come. And we went to like I said, all 12 of us went to a restaurant, Olive Garden. We went to Olive Garden because I loved Olive Garden. And then we kind of spent the night in Old San Juan, which was really fun. I'm not an Old San Juan gal, so the fact that I even got there is astounding. And we had so much fun. We stayed out until like 2 a.m, just talking and hanging out. But him and I got to talking, and we kind of just like let our grievances go. I was still with my boyfriend at that point, but I don't know, we decided that the fight was stupid and we didn't need to fight about it. So I don't know, we kind of buried the hatchet. We matured, I guess, and we were ready to be friends again. And after that party, we texted constantly. We were texting almost every day. So the friendship was healing, and that was really cute and really good for me because, like I said, he was my best friend instantly, and we really understood each other. We were each other's rock for a good bit, so it was really hard to lose that friendship. So it was really nice to have it back. Anyways, you're probably wondering by this point why I'm talking about like other relationships and why I'm talking about us not being friends when it's supposed to be our love story. But I'm just feeding you guys. Like, I know you read slow burn books and friends to lovers books. So I'm just here to please you. You're just gonna have to be patient because I had to be patient. Anyway, I'm now at the DCP, the Disney College Program. I'm tired of it already. It really does become your personality, huh? Anyway, I'm at the DCP. I'm still dating my boyfriend at that point. We had been together for almost 6 years. And he went to visit me. My then boyfriend went to visit me. And his trip was very hard on me. It was not, like, it was fun when we were together. But we had some situations and it became, like, sour very fast. And it got me thinking maybe this relationship wasn't going to a good, healthy place. And I don't know, it started the snowball effect of like, maybe I have been in the wrong place. Because that relationship by this point was on and off, and we had fights all the time by that point. And I don't know, every time we would break up, he would break up with me and date someone else. Not every time, but sometimes he would date other people. And I never went out with dates to date other people because I don't know, I felt weird about it. But this time I was like, why haven't I? Why do I like hold on to this when clearly we're not in the same place emotionally? But that's beside the point. Like I said, he visited me at Disney and then he left. But what that caused was I was very, very, not depressed, but very sad because that was the last visit I was going to have from someone from Puerto Rico at that point. And I had realized that I was really homesick by that point. And the fact that he was the last person that was going to visit me kind of broke my heart. So obviously I was texting my friend Janelle at that point, and I told him what I was feeling. I told him everything I was feeling. I told him how I was sad that he left, but also that the trip had been stressful and how I wasn't feeling great and in the relationship and in my like DCP, and that I was ashamed because I was having really a lot of fun, but I wanted to go home. And he was just there kind of like patting my back and be like, no, you can do this. You wanted to do this forever. And don't let like the fights like sour your experience. You're almost done. Like, enjoy your last months. And then he mentioned that he was going to go to Florida to visit family. And I got super excited about it. I was like, oh, why don't you come to Disney one day and I'll let you into the parks, like you and whoever wants to come. I have like some extra tickets. And he obviously is not going to say no to a free Disney trip. So they all came to visit me and we went to Epcot. And honestly, guys, that day, I know it's going to sound dramatic, but it was really life-changing. So he came with his mom, his sister, and his cousin. And his dad was supposed to come, but I think he was sick that day, so he didn't come. And honestly, from the moment I saw him, he came up and he ran up to me and he hugged me. He like carried me, he hugged me. And it was like emotions. Like, I felt so at home. But at that point, I attributed it to like, he's my best friend and he's here and I'm not alone. So yeah, he came to visit me and we did the park like normal. He got angry at me though because I kept like saying that he should like ride with his like little cousin because he was there to visit his cousin. So I was trying to be a good friend and be like, you never see your cousin, like I'll come back to Puerto Rico and we'll hang out, so like spend time with your cousin. And I would ride the rides by myself. And so because it's usually like two people, so like his mom and his sister would go together and then him and his cousin and I would go alone because we'd meet up afterwards, like it's fine. And he got so annoyed at me because he was like, why don't you want to ride the rides with me? And I was like, I don't know, I just want you to spend time with your cousin. But the groundbreaking moment happened in The Seas with Nemo and Friends, which is very random. But in that one, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, he refused to let me go by myself, and he said I was gonna ride it with him, and someone else went alone, I guess, or the three other people went in a shell. I don't remember what they actually did. But we went on The Seas with Nemo and Friends. And by that point, like we had our friendship, like I said, and I had my boyfriend. So we weren't pursuing anything like romantic because we both like respected that. It's gonna sound like braggy, but I'm a very like loyal partner. I'm very against like cheating or anything. And, he also respected my relationship and he respected our friendship. He didn't want to break our friendship over like feelings that could be fleeting, you know? So like I said, by this point we had been friends since 7th grade and we were 20 now. So it's like 8 years of friendship. So we didn't want to like break that, but we definitely each felt like feelings towards each other and you could feel it. Like you could feel that we were both like trying to like stay apart but couldn't. And so we went on The Seas with Nemo and Friends. And if you've never been on that ride, it's basically a little buggy and you just go on a track and you see the story of like Finding Nemo, but not really the story of Finding Nemo. It's like a little different version of Finding Nemo. And there's this part where there's a long tunnel where you're stuck in the like where the turtles are. I don't know what that's called, but it's like bubbles. And you get stuck there and you kind of go like that's the tunnel. You just go through the tunnel of the bubbles. I need to watch Finding Nemo again. I don't know what I'm talking about, but Crush is there. And on our ride, the ride stopped in that tunnel for a long time. Like I would say maybe not a long time. It probably felt longer than it actually was. It was probably like 5 minutes or something, but I felt like it was eternal. And it was so tense, guys, because we were stuck in a dark tunnel together. And we were just kind of like sitting near each other, kind of like will they, won't they? And it was a lot. And it kind of broke my brain a little because obviously I wasn't going to do anything. Like I said, I don't believe in cheating, but I really wanted to. I really wanted to kiss him. And I could feel that he wanted to kiss me too, because he like would get close, but like not close like to kiss me, but like would like want to touch me, basically like touch legs or something. And it was very like tense is the best word I can say. I don't know what other word I'm looking for, because that's basically what I can say. And I don't know, it kind of changed, I believe, our relationship. Like that trip changed our friendship. And even though nothing happened, I don't know, it kind of changed how we saw each other, I think, in a way. He always says that that's like, as soon as he saw me at Epcot, he knew he was in love with me. That's what he says. I've been in love with him since 7th grade, but you know, whatever. I'm kidding. I moved on. But he says that that's the moment he knew that I wasn't a friend anymore. And I don't know, Finding Nemo was intense. Anyway, moving forward, I'll kind of stay in the DCP because a lot of other stuff happened in the college program. Like I started having a crush on a girl, and I had never explored that side of myself. I've always stuck to guys, and Janelle was very big in encouraging me to explore that. Like I said, he wasn't a fan of my relationship with my current boyfriend. Like my boyfriend back then. Since the very beginning, but he saw that it wasn't doing me well mentally. So he was like, hey, maybe it's time to let it go. Like he didn't think that time really mattered when it came to it, which he was right about. You don't have to stay with someone just because you've been with them for long if they're not contributing good things to your relationship. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't contributing good things to on his side either. Like we were not good for each other at that point. We would just constantly fight, and we didn't trust each other, and it was just a bad relationship at that point. So I decided to let go. And we didn't break up at that point because I didn't want to break up a 6-year relationship through text. But I decided that we would just take my last month of my college program because I didn't want this relationship to keep souring my college program. I decided that last month we'd just not talk. And he was very combative about it. He fought me about it. But I said, I'm gonna block you and we'll talk when I get home. And that last month was amazing, honestly. Obviously I was still worried about the relationship and I wanted to talk to my then boyfriend, but I decided that I needed this for myself. So I let go and I had the best time. I didn't pursue anything with the girl, obviously, because I still had a boyfriend. But I did kind of try to explore it a bit without doing anything. We didn't like confess to each other or anything, but we did, like, we would go to the parks together and we would kind of hang out. She was my roommate too, so we would just kind of like talk, and we just kind of started a friendship rather than anything more. But then the DCP was, oh, by the way, Janelle was encouraging me to start a relationship. He was the devil on my shoulder, and I was like, listen, I have to be loyal. I know this relationship isn't good, but I need to like wait it out and talk to him in person. But he was like, no, leave him. start this relationship with this girl. She wants to be with you. Which I didn't believe. That's another story for another time. I was just stupid. But I didn't pursue anything. And then the college program was over and we came back home. And the girl I had a crush on, like I said, she was my roommate, but she also lived in Puerto Rico. So we took the plane back together. And when we left her at her house, she lived on the other side of the island. We left her in her house. So basically we arrived in Puerto Rico, but there's only 2 airports on each side. And the one on the other side is smaller. So we just arrived to the big one, and then my mom drove us all the way to the other side. She lived in Rincon. And we left her there. And when I left her, I sent her a text saying, because I had told her the whole time, like I had told all my roommates that I had a crush on a girl. And she was like, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? I'm pretty sure she knew. But I didn't tell her until then. I left her in her house and I texted her because I'm a coward. I'm saying, where is the confidence from 7th grade? But I texted her that it was her, and she was like, why wouldn't you tell me? Whatever. And that was another fight. I'm not good at relationships. Anyway, I came back home and I talked to my then boyfriend, and I think we dated for like another month until we decided that it was enough. Well, I decided it was enough. And as you would expect, it did not go well. But I won't talk about that because we both moved on and we're friends. We don't need to rehash that. But I was still talking to Janelle, of course, because he was my best friend. And I was still talking to the girl. And Janelle really pushed me to like date this girl and to like explore the side of me, which I'm thankful for, because I was a coward, like I said, and I wouldn't have done it if no one told me to do it. Because like I said, I hadn't explored that side of like actually liking girls. And he was like, but if you don't do it now, when will you do it? Like, what if you start dating another guy and you end up marrying him and you never see like what could have happened? And so I thought he was right. And I didn't date this girl. We went like on a couple dates, and she would visit me and I visited her once and slept over in her house. But I don't know, the relationship just didn't like click. So I gave up on that. And honestly, since I was a younger girl, I used to like more than one person at the same time, but not like huge crush. Like I would like a couple of people. And at that point I liked 4 people. And I even gave them nicknames, which I won't say here. It's embarrassing. But I liked 4 people, and I knew one of them was the girl. One of them was like a classmate that I had, was cute. And another one was a guy who had been pursuing me for a while. I even went like on 2 dates with him on one of the breakups with my last boyfriend. But it didn't work out, obviously. But he still wanted to date me. And then the last one was Janelle, my friend. And obviously, he was talking to me at that point still. We were friends. We had become best friends again. And he did the classic question of middle school of like, hey, do you like anybody? Which always, like, I knew it meant that he suspected that I liked him. And so I said, yeah, I like 4 people right now. And he was like, okay, well. And he asked me about the people, and I told him like my nicknames, because I didn't want to tell him that I liked him. And so I told him the like 4 nicknames, and he was like, oh, who are they? Do I know them? And I told him 3 of them. And then he asked if the last one was him. And I was like, maybe. I didn't want to tell him because I had been turned down so many times by this guy. And at this point, we were adults. And it was going to hurt me if he turned me down again. But I ended up like saying maybe, which obviously means yes. And he said, oh, I like you too. And listen, can you imagine liking a guy since you were 12 and him telling you that he likes you? My mind exploded and my heart exploded with it. And he tried to change the subject. He was like, anyway. And I was like, no. What do you mean anyway? We're gonna talk about this. And we ended up setting up a date, and which he was late for. He was an hour late for a movie, guys. If I wasn't crazy about this guy, I would have left. But he made it. He was in traffic, and he kept texting me the whole time. He was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so late, I'm stuck in traffic, whatever. If you've ever been to Puerto Rico, or if you know anything about Puerto Rico, it is traffic pretty much everywhere. And so it made sense that he was stuck in traffic, especially because he was coming, if you're from Puerto Rico, he's coming from Bayamón to Guaynabo. And that is always, Bayamón is just traffic all the time. So, yeah, he made it. And honestly, it was really sweet. It was a really sweet first date. It had all the tension of the Finding Nemo ride. And he would like tickle me because he knows I hate to be tickled. He would like poke me on my side, so I would like swat him away. And in one of them, he like grabbed my hand, and so we held hands the rest of the movie. And I don't know, something happened. Like it was like immediate sparks. And we went to the movie, but we had plans to see each other that night as well, because we didn't want to just see a movie. We wanted to hang out a bit more. So he had a birthday party to go to. and I had a party at night. So he went to the birthday party and then he came back to pick me up. It was a Halloween party because it was October 29th, I'm pretty sure. So nighttime comes and he picks me up. And first of all, that was like a green flag for me. Like that was like groundbreaking for me because in my past relationship, I was always the one picking him up. I mean, he didn't have a car and I did. I'm not saying like he was a bad guy because he didn't pick me up, but he didn't have a car. And I'm pretty sure his mom wouldn't let him like use her car. But I would always pick him up. So having a guy pick me up was like, what is this? This is weird. But he picked me up and I was like, it's like the video of like Quinta with the guy that wants to have the large popcorn. She's like, that was me. Anyway, he picked me up and we went to the party. But I have, like I said before, I have social anxiety. And so I heard like the boom of the music and I saw that it was like in a sketchy like house. And I got like a panic attack, which is not a great thing to have on a first date, but I had it. And he was like, incredible about it. He was like, do you want to go? And I was like, I'm really sorry. I can't do this like party right now. And he was like, it's fine. Let's just go. And so we ended up leaving. But the whole way home, I was like, but I don't want the date to be over. And so he parked near my house and we kind of just like, it was a very friendly date. We just kind of watched YouTube videos in the car. And we had our first kiss. And I'm gonna be dramatic, but I felt fireworks and like we had the kiss and it felt right, you know? It felt like years of like yearning just coming to a conclusion. It felt very, very dramatic. And he felt the same way, obviously, because we're here. But he felt sparks too. And he was like, okay, so this is something I want to pursue. And I felt the same way. I knew it was going to be like trouble because my ex was his friend as well, because we were in the same friend group. They had stopped talking too. Like the drama happened with all three of us. But I knew it was going to be like complicated and it was going to be rocky. But I don't know, something, we didn't care. We felt right with each other. And like I said, it had been building up for so long that we felt we had to take a chance, you know? And it was hard at first because he lived on the other side of the island. He was studying on the other side of the island where the girl was, where the girl I went out with was. Well, near, not the same place. And so it was long distance from the get-go, which was very hard for us in the beginning. We had some situations with friends and stuff. But I'll fast forward a bit because it was basically we were in relationships. He would come down, I would go up. It was like that for a while. And then Maria happened, which if you're not familiar with, Maria was a hurricane, which pretty much destroyed Puerto Rico for a good bit. And he obviously came down to be with his family and stuff, and we would see each other. And then after Maria, a huge strike happened in our college. So we went to the same college, but different campuses. So I went to the Rio Piedras campus and he went to the Maya West campus, which if you want to search up a map, they're on the opposite sides. Or I could be not lazy and put a map up, but we'll see if I do that, if I remember to do that. But we went on a huge strike, and it was a strike to the magnitude that they were threatening to take away like our accreditation for the college. So a lot of people jumped ship and just changed colleges because it had been going on for like 2 months now. So the semester was being like lost at that point. And so a lot of people did that. And I considered doing it, but and I even applied to a different school for psychology and got in. But I didn't want to be a psychologist. gynecologist. I'm sorry, mom. And the college opened right as I got my acceptance letter, so I was like, I'll just stay here. But my boyfriend at that time, we're together now. He decided to jump ship. He moved to a college that was closer to his house. And it was more expensive, but he wouldn't have to pay rent and he wouldn't have to pay groceries. He would just live with his parents. So now we weren't long distance. We were closer to each other. And I think it really helped our relationship. And really cute. Anyways, we would see each other obviously like weekly or whenever we wanted. And around, I want to say 2020 or 2019. It was before COVID, so 2018, maybe 2019. I decided to move away from my house and I got my own apartment. And I asked him to move in with me if he wanted, but he wanted to stay until he was at least done with college so he could focus like his financials on like living in an apartment and stuff. And I understood. I was fine with that. But by then his family was moving to a new house as well. And he decided he didn't want to move to that new house, then pack up and move to the apartment. So a couple months later, he was in my apartment with me and we moved in together for the first time. By this point, we had been dating. That was 2020, which I want to say it is. I said 2018. Why am I 2018? We had been dating about 2 years at that point, and we moved in together, and we had 2 apartments together in Puerto Rico in the same area, just we moved to a bigger apartment. And honestly, we did pretty good. Like, we moved in together and we kind of like, I know I keep saying it, but we kind of clicked and we kind of worked together pretty well in having an apartment. By the way, I completely skipped over my medical. So at the start of our relationship, I'm sorry, I'm jumping back. I completely forgot about it. At the start of our relationship, right after I came back from the college program, I had a medical emergency and I was hospitalized for 10 days. And it was really touch and go. I was in danger of dying, but I didn't. I'm still here. But it was really scary at that point. We had just started dating. Like, I want to say we became boyfriend and girlfriend on November 5th, and December 10th, I was in the hospital. So it had barely been like a month, and it was gonna be like, I was either gonna die or I was gonna have like another alternative. I was gonna have like a lifelong disease with me. Not disease, like a condition. And that could deteriorate with time. And so I was very clear with him. I was like, listen, we just started and this might turn into something a lot more complicated down the line. So I understand if you don't want to pursue this. Like, I'm not gonna be angry with you. I understand. You didn't sign up to like watch me deteriorate with time. And we're just starting out. So I understand if you want to like search for something else. But no, he decided to stick it out. I'm pretty sure, like I'm 100% sure it's because like we had our friendship to back it up. Like, he didn't want to just like give up on me by that point. And I don't know, I think our friendship really helped like the love bloom, if that makes sense. But yeah, he decided to stay, and I thought that was really nice. That's really cute. And so we continued. And fast forward again to us living together, we decided that we wanted to move to the US. But we decided we didn't want to do that without getting married first, because we wanted to get married in Puerto Rico. And I always feel like if you are in a long-term relationship and you are considering marriage, you do have a conversation beforehand. Like, it is a surprise when they like propose and stuff, but you always kind of know that it's coming. Because either way, like, a lot of people propose without knowing if the partner actually wants to get married, and then you kind of figure out that you're not in the same place. So I always think it's a good idea to at least have a conversation about it and be like, are we both seeking marriage? Like, is this something that we both see as an end goal? And we did. We knew from pretty much the first date that we wanted to get married. Maybe not to each other. Like, we each knew that we both like wanted to get married in the future. And like, as time went on, we decided that we wanted to marry each other. And by that point, we decided that we wanted to get married before we moved to the US. So we talked about it and went on a trip. We started planning our wedding, honestly. I had not been engaged, like, he hadn't proposed yet, but we had an agreement and we just decided to like set a date and start planning and then announce it, because we had a goal date to move. And like I said, we wanted to be married before that. So we wanted to make sure that we had enough time for both things to happen. And yeah, we went on a trip to Disney, which is really sad. Let me tell that story real quick. So we had a trip planned to Disney and Universal on September that year. We were going with my cousin, and it was her daughter's first time to Disney and Universal. They didn't end up going to Disney, but they went to Universal. And if you've ever made a reservation for Disney, and you're paying it off little by little, you have to go on the app and pay it off whenever you do. But he had made separate plans for March. And when I went to pay my reservation on September, I saw the upcoming plans, because you can see your friends' plans. So I saw a March trip, and I was like, why? I didn't plan a March trip. And then I realized it was probably like a proposal trip, and I felt so bad. I thought about like keeping it secret and not telling him, but I can't lie to his face. I can't lie to him, and I was gonna feel bad if we got there and I wasn't as excited as I would be if I didn't know. So I told him that I like accidentally saw the trip for March, but that I didn't know anything else, and he didn't have to tell me anything else. I just knew that we were going to Disney in March, and that's all I needed to know. Because I felt like I needed to tell him, and he was so bummed. But he was still excited about it. I don't know, he was like, he kept blaming himself, and I was like, it's not your fault. The app lets you see what your friends are doing. Like, that really, it's a failure on the app's part. But yeah, we went to Disney in March, and honestly, you go to Disney and you kind of wonder, like, if you know it's a proposal trip, you kind of wonder where it's gonna happen. Like, in front of the castle is a classic, and like in front of the Epcot ball is a classic. So you kind of like are always like stressed, like, when is it gonna happen? But we went to the Seas with Nemo and friends, and as soon as like we were walking towards that, I was like, this is where it's gonna happen. Like, this ride means everything to us. Like, it's the start of us. And he was really sweet. He waited until we left. So you go through the ride and you exit through the like gift shop, and there's some benches there. And he knows that I don't like attention on myself, and obviously if you propose in front of the castle and stuff, people will look at you and applaud, and that was gonna be too stressful for me. So he picked the benches outside the gift shop up the Seas with Nemo and Friends to propose. And here are like pictures of it. Here's my ring. And I thought it was really sweet, and it was very considerate of him. I didn't feel overwhelmed. We had a friend with us there too, which I knew he was there to like record because it was really random. Yeah, he proposed, and at the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Because that was special to us, and it still is. Like every time we went to Epcot, we had to ride the Seas with Nemo and Friends because that's our thing now. And obviously in the future when we have kids and stuff, we'll take them, tell them the story of mom and dad falling in love. But yeah, that was our engagement story basically. I know it was a long-winded story to get to that. But after that, we got married in Puerto Rico and moved from Puerto Rico to the US, to Florida to work at Disney. And yeah, that's our love story. I know it was really long and it was really slow, and I understand that it's painstakingly slow, but we got there, and I don't know, we're happier than ever now. We've been together for 8 years at this point. We will be together for 9 in November, and then we will be married for 4 years in December. But we've been friends. We've been together in each other's lives since 2007, 2008, which is math. I'll tell you right now. Just pull out my calculator because my brain is stupid right now. We've been friends for 17 years at this point. We've been in each other's lives longer than we haven't. Yeah. That's our love story. You guys like it? I like it. I love telling my story. I love telling our story. I think it's a really cute story. I love that we grew up with each other. I love that we grew up because of each other. And I don't know. I always believe that a strong foundation for a relationship is to have a good friendship. And I believe that until yeah. I love this man, guys. I love him so much, and I've loved him since 7th grade. I mean, I didn't love him back then. I was a child. I had a crush, but he's been in my life since 7th grade. So he's basically all I've known. And I don't know, I kind of hope everyone finds their good end. Whether that's different gender like me or same gender. No matter what anyone says, you're you and you're enough, and don't let anyone tell you any different. You find love wherever you find love, unless it's legal. Please don't. If you are doing illegal things, please don't. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video this week. I did watch the new Doctor Who episode, so I might do like a follow-up video. I was thinking either episode by episode or like the season when it's done. Let me know what you guys prefer. Next video could be reacting to this first episode. I know I'd be a little late, but that's okay. I need time to process the episode anyway and watch it again, so we'll see. Anyway, like and subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next week.